Hey, welcome back to the Pillars of Johnny. I'm a drug addict. I'm an alcoholic. I am an overall mess of a person. If I was a dish, a dish of food, I would be a goulash. I would be something you put together when you have a bunch of leftovers and you throw it all together because you just don't have anything else left. That's what I am. But in the discovery of who I am, I found these principles or pillars, things I live by, and I hope to expand on them with you so that way you can find an understanding within yourself or just a way to relate to a stranger out there, that there's a way out, there's hope. I highly recommend on this journey of life you take a look back and reflect on how you got here, how you got to where you are, what got you there, and find something to hold on to develop your purpose. Your purpose. For a long time, my purpose, I thought, was the idea of others: the picket fence, the 2.5 kids, the dog, wife, the 30 years marriage, the 401k, the retirement, living in some dusty city. I live in a dusty city, but I am certainly nowhere near retirement. I'm also divorced. I have the 2 kids. Um, and that dream and that purpose that was instilled in me, that idea, was not mine. And I feel like I didn't get a chance to, let's be honest. As a kid, I didn't know what the hell I wanted. I still don't as an adult. But I do know these things and these pillars, and they help me get to my purpose. And my purpose today, right now, is to be with you. So, moving on to the next pillar, number 6, luck favors the prepared. You have to be ready. You have to be ready to learn. I take that back. I have to be ready. You don't have to do shit. I have to be ready to learn. Because when the moment comes when I must be corrected or set on a new path, when I come to the fork in the road and I choose, I have to know as much as I can understand up until that point in my life for me to make the best possible decision. Now, whether this decision is right or wrong is irrelevant. Remember, no excuses, just results. I can't make assumptions on the other forks in the road because this is a brand new fork in the road. Unless you're super stubborn like me and you will continue to have the same fork in the same road until you learn not to go down that road. So there's some discernment here where you have to identify, and this is where luck favors the prepared, because are you prepared to come up to this next fork in the road and determine if this is something that I need to redo in life and learn from because I've already made these mistakes, or is this a new fork? Is there something new here? Is there something that distinguishes this, is different from the lesson I've had to learn? Because I have to be prepared. In order for me to be successful in life, I have to be prepared for the things that are down that road. When I'm in an interview for the job that I think is going to be most fulfilling for me and provide financial stability, am I prepared to answer the questions to fulfill that position? Do I have the life experience? Do I have the resources in front of me? I work out not because I think I'm going to be in a peak fighting condition, but I have to be prepared for the fact that I'm getting older. I have to be prepared for when I see someone walking down the street and they kind of have a limp, a little hitch in their giddy up, if you want to call it that. I have to look at myself and say, okay, when I'm this person's age, am I prepared to be able to walk normally? Right? So this luck favors the prepared is not something that's like a grand gesture that's going to come swooping down and change your life. I mean, it may, not a lot of things like that have happened in my life. They usually take time. But if I am not prepared, and an example of me not being prepared is passed out drunk at 11 a.m. on a Saturday. I am not prepared to be a dad that day. I am not prepared to help an alcoholic out that day. I am not prepared to help myself out that day. I am not prepared to make responsible decisions financially for the people who I say I love, for my friends. I am not prepared that day. And I use that example because I have so many days where I was not prepared in that very specific way. I was so unprepared for life that I did not understand how I was supposed to be responsible for myself. That's how removed in preparation I am or was for my life. But I was prepared in fulfilling the requirements for my resentments by making assumptions, by taking things personally, by having so many excuses, by expecting things of others that I had no business expecting. See, these things and these pillars, the opposite of what I've gone through is what's kept me sick. And if I fulfill the obligations of these pillars and how they're written, it removes these things from my life that hold me into a place of being sick. Make no mistakes, I am sick. I am not cured. From what I understand about the disease of alcoholism or substance abuse in general, drug addiction, codependency addiction, cocaine addiction, sex addiction, the only cure is the vice which we use to fulfill that need. So basically, the only cure for my alcohol addiction is alcohol. But the results of it are fatal and miserable. So I'm at my truest suffrage when I am sober. I have to find the preparedness in order for when a situation comes up, because luck will favor the prepared because you're ready for it. And the first part of that, luck favors, is really just a fallacy that I put in there because I'm prepared. I'm ready. I'm ready to be of service. I'm ready to be a part of the world in the state that I'm supposed to be in today. Right? So, in order for me to understand to be prepared for today, I have to understand that I wake up sick and I go to bed sick every day. Right? There's acceptance. I have to accept that part of me. But I also have to accept that I have to do certain things during the day every day, in order for me to have a chance for luck to favor me. A lot of people call it God's grace. Some people call it karma. But if you are not prepared, you will not be able to identify it. It will fly right by you. And then you get to start the pity party over, because now you don't understand why good things aren't happening for you. You see where I'm going with this? Is even though I am prepared today and nothing may happen, it's not a reason for me or an excuse to take a shortcut, or for me to say, oh, I can have a drink, I can have a beer, because a beer will get me to heroin in about 2 days. And I have this excuse me, get some water. I have this way, this, I don't know what it's called, a moniker, I don't know. It's the 22nd soldier. And as a 22nd soldier, at any given time of the day, I'm 20 seconds away from using. A bad day, about 10 seconds. But that's how close. It's always there. It's always there. It took me 2.5 years to be able to walk down the liquor aisle and act like I'm walking down the mayonnaise aisle or the baking aisle. Right? So, and I didn't walk down that aisle to challenge my addiction. I walked down that aisle because I really didn't even realize it until I was 3/4 of a way through it. And I'm like, oh, this is enemy territory. But that day I was prepared. That day I was prepared. So I hope you can find the principle of being ready. I think in the military they call it being at ready status or whatever. So when something does happen, you're ready to pop off, right? They're always training. They're always sharpening their skills for the day, for the time when it's time to go. And that's also a great definition to help understand what it means when it's luck favors the prepared. If you're consistent, you have a chance. You have a chance. And we got 2 more principles. We're going to wrap this up, and we're going to see what the hell this all means when it's done.